Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your pal Flix here. Today we're going over a lot again, including factions, working with them, joining them, and dynamic weather. Good luck making a title of that again, Flix. I'm not joking. My head's going to be overworked making a title out of this and what it means for Cyberpunk 2077. Of course, as always, if you enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more daily, top quality content. Alright, well, the intro opened up with factions and working with them or joining them. I can already hear the info. Junkie's just going, bro, what do you mean? Oh, I can't scratch again. Stop wearing a sweater in videos. God damn it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait, you cannot join factions. You have negative brain cells, man. Well, yeah, you obviously can't join a faction because it would make no sense for the game. If you'd be able to join a faction, then that would be a completely different game. Just think of it. Think of a game where you'd have to move up the ranks of a faction because your actions have to match their worldview, right? Which definitely isn't impossible for it to be done, but the way Cyberpunk's been marketed, it was always a given that joining factions wasn't a thing. At least for me. Like, I didn't think of it back in 2018 like, oh, bro, can I join this faction? The marketing was always, hey, RPG, what do you want? Do what you want, not what do you want. That was a bad section. That doesn't mean that you can't work towards that faction's interest, I suppose. I'll get back into that in a second. But where's the question of the day? I'm not just going to leave you guys hanging. I never forget about the epic question of the day. Alright, the question of the day today is, let's go with, what's the faction you like the least? For example, Maelstrom, Militech, Arasaka, Aldecondos. I believe I got it right that time. Comments, you can correct me. I'm never gonna get that faction right, etc. I'm not naming everything that we've seen in the videos because that's a completely different video. Speaking of a complete other videos, I have many other videos. You should definitely check them out. Many people have said they're the best things they've ever seen in their lives. Anyways, let's jump back in with a quote actually because I choke on quotes, which is rather funny. So the devs were asked, can we join a faction like the Psycho Squad? This was back in 2018, so the whole Psycho Squad thing was still popular. Psycho Squad is pretty much a branch of, you could say, the NCPD, the Night City Police Department, where they hunt down people that have that have become psychos through cyberpsychosis, too many implants in their head. They pretty much lose their humanity. So that's a little bit about cyberpsychos. What was the quote? Oh yeah, this is the quote, and I quote: "Freedom is the biggest value for cyberpunk, so they wouldn't permanently." Freedom is the biggest value for cyberpunks, so they wouldn't permanently join any faction. In the game, you'll be able to work for various factions, but it wouldn't be possible to join them. We're not planning to introduce any reputation indicators for factions. Okay, you know what I was choking on? I was saying the biggest value for cyberpunk. It's actually for cyberpunks. So I guess they were at this point they were referring to V as a cyberpunk rather than a mercenary, which is interesting. It's interesting to see how their like wording changed between 2018 to 2020, because I was going off their wording now. You know what? That was really odd. I didn't actually go into it, but it's unique because I have no reputation indicators. So that means you don't actually know how well a faction would like you or not. You just have to guess, I guess, which makes sense because one of the quotes for the little gangs of Nights, was it Gangs of Night City? Factions of Night City? I don't remember what it was called. It was like, Maelstrom never forgets. The first thing I thought was like, oh, you betrayed Royce, you destroyed them there. Then you probably ran into them during the Tiger Claws weapons deal that we saw back in the Weapons of Destruction trailer. You ran into them, and then they say, hey, Maelstrom never forgets, we remember you, and then things go on from there. Or it could have been at their club. I'm getting off topic here. Your reputation. Oh, yeah, the rest of the quote is your reputation will be measured by general street cred. Okay, but that doesn't reflect how each faction thinks of you, so that's a little bit complicated. This was still pretty early in the game's lifespan, but it gives us a better look at what this means working with instead of joining a faction. Most RPGs actually don't let you truly join a faction. Fallout New Vegas, the game which ends up getting a shout out every one of these videos. Honestly, why did they always get a shout out? Had the major factions being the New California Republic, NCR for short, and Caesar's Legion. Think of it like Arasaka versus Militech level factions, like mega factions. You could help both factions with their quests. You could jump between each faction doing their, like, helping them with things, I guess, to get them prepared for the final battle. But come endgame, you generally had to make a choice of NCR or Caesar's Legion for the last mission. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but for people that have actually played the game, I don't want to get called out, okay? There's the NCR route that I consider fighting through Hoover Dam, protecting, and then Caesar's Legion is fighting the other way pretty much. It's a lot of it got cut pretty much for Fallout New Vegas, what they wanted to do. So it was the end was kind of lackluster, but okay, if you help the faction at the end, you never actually joined either of those factions, even if you did the last mission for them. For the NCR, you actually get a medal. I believe it was the highest civilian award. And for Caesar's Ending, you get a gold coin minted of you, bro. When you accidentally write something that doesn't sound like you, it's just tough. It's tough, honestly. But you were never part of these two factions. Even NPCs in the game world. A specific one was like the NCR. They'd say, if you were enlisted, you'd be halfway. Or was it? No, it wasn't like that. It was like, if you were enlisted, you'd be halfway to general by now. It seems to be the way they're handling Cyberpunk 2077. New Vegas is, for the most part, the best Fallout game, so I wouldn't be mad if they're taking some inspiration from there. And Cyberpunk has copied and pasted Frank Horrigan in the form of Adam Smasher, and the Master in the form of Subaru Arasaka. Oh, I'm sorry, you can get triggered, but it's true. It's 100% true. Heck, dude, if you want to go Maelstrom all through the game, you're welcome to. Go ahead. But you're never actually a member, more of a friend to them. Doesn't mean that doesn't come with its own perks, of course, like shops, river docks, etc. It's just letting you officially join a faction leaves a lot to be desired. I can think of a specific example being Fallout 4. You could become General of the Minutemen, which for me, that had enough content to like be actually, okay, I joined that faction. But becoming Paladin of the Brotherhood of Steel or Sentinel, which is Sentinel was pretty much the second in command of that faction, it had no extra content. You only got the name, hey, you're Sentinel, the Brotherhood of Steel. I was so disappointed. I got a jetpack. You're kidding me. I'm in second in command of the biggest faction left in the game, and I get nothing in the way of an extra quest, an extra helping them. You could also become director of the biggest faction, and you legit got nothing. It's like, what's the point of me joining this faction, of becoming a leader of a faction, when there's nothing else for me to do? Makes no sense. Bro, I could probably keep going all day. Like, I could start drawing comparisons to Skyrim and their the Wolf faction. I forgot what they're called. Okay, I haven't played Skyrim in forever. Don't get mad at me. I play modded Skyrim, that's why. But I have a lot more to squeeze into this video than just talking about the factions. Like, I could literally do like a 2-hour stream where I just keep talking about how this is going to work. But you know, that's enough. That's enough. I'm not doing a live stream. Okay, that was just me talking. Please. Don't take that seriously. Okay, how many factions there are is a good question, because we've seen the major ones ruling their districts, with the exception of the Tiger Claws, which appear to have 2 districts. But what about those weird clown robot face people? The Joker-looking people. They must have watched Joker a little too much, you know. They took a little bit of inspiration from there. Well, I got another quote to choke on when asked about that. You ready for me to choke again? There are quite a few factions, 6 different. I'm using factions for the G word because YouTube doesn't like the G word. Just putting it out there. There are quite a few factions, 6 different districts, and each has their own faction. There are sub-factions, but it's too early to say and too spoilery. More details to come. That was when they were asked how many factions, aka the G word, there are. This was back in 2019, so not that old. But there's the confirmation of subgroups. I should have used groups instead of factions, because now I'm a little bit confusing you, right? Okay. That was a little bit confusing, I know, but YouTube just doesn't like some words, okay? Trust me, the videos I put the G word in got destroyed. Like, literally got no views. Yeah, we got confirmation of subgroups, which definitely won't have as big of storylines attached to them, because I've actually been working on a vid of the whole 6th Street Valentino's beef. It's really interesting. 6th Street is getting pinched by Valentino's and Tiger Claws, actually, which is, that's interesting how that's going to play out. Then there's the Tiger Claws and Moxes, but also Tiger Claws trying to expand more and more. It seems like the Tiger Claws and 6th Street, Valentino's also we saw expanding a bit, seem to be the factions that want to expand more than the rest. Moxes just seem happy with their own little part. Then again, there's the whole. You know what? I'm getting too far into factions, I think, because then there's the whole Alder condos wraiths, and then there was the other 5 little subgroups, I guess, little groups in the nomad and the Badlands, but they are nomads. Okay. What was I? I completely got. Oh yeah. Dynamic weather. We've actually gone really far in terms of RPGs. Am I still recording? Shoot. I messed that up. Dynamic weather. We've actually gone really far in terms of RPGs compared to like a decade ago. If you go back a year, you'd have dynamic. Oh, no, go back a year. Go back a year. Go back a decade is what I meant. You'd have a dynamic day-night cycle. Obviously, you always had that, but no real weather effects, I guess, because games were dealing with less powerful hardware. We've also seen screenshots of it raining and a normal sunny day, obviously, which is weather. Games got dynamic weather. But they also said there would be gloomy days, which is interesting. What if you're doing a super happy moment in the most depressing weather? That'd be hilarious. Or going through the saddest moment in game, aka Rip Jackie. Oh, then straight up sunny outside. And haters, don't be mad. That was literally confirmed by the voice actors that Rip Jackie is a thing. Now we're getting. I have a video for that. I'm not gonna have a card in the top right because I'm not gonna remember. But just check out all the videos. They're amazing. Now we're getting pretty far in terms of video length. Actually, I don't know how long we are. Let me check. Wow, we're at 12 minutes in. That's just great. That's great. But I don't have anywhere else to put this. So yeah. They've also said there's no loading screen between areas. Well, their exact words were no loading screen after the initial loading into the game with a little smiley face at the end of that, which I low-key call lies on it. If you're saying the game's going to have massive verticality and that some of those mega towers could actually be entered, I don't see them not going. Did I really have to scroll down? No, I lost where I was. I legitimately lost where I was. I'm not even joking. I don't see them not doing the little elevator loading trick where you're in an elevator, but actually you're loading the next scene. I'd say that's why they recommended an SSD to speed that up. But I'm pretty sure that's also because of pop-in issues. Now, before I make a fool of myself, this is going off personal experiences, not actual facts. I don't actually know how game popping in works. Because when I played the Outer Worlds on a hard drive, I had like the NPCs' faces in talking scenes, because in the Outer Worlds they had like when you were talking to someone, it was pretty much a cutscene. Think of Fallout 3 versus Fallout 4 system. Their faces would take a second or two to pop in, fully textured, compared to when I had it on an SSD. That wasn't happening at all. So welcome to Flicks Tech Talk 2020. Also, you can tell how long the script was because I actually scrolled down. I had to scroll down this time. I shouldn't have scrolled down, to be honest with you. I should have waited for a pause before I scrolled down. Because I was reading it. I scrolled down like, bro, where am I? Well, generally, where am I? I'm lost. Anyways, this seems like it'll be a longer length video. Again, really longer length. But y'all have been enjoying these. Last video did actually really amazing. Today's question was already asked, but in case you missed it, what faction do you like the least? Write in the comments or express or have it delivered by aliens via the Night City spaceport. Do you see how I didn't remove the word express from my last script? Perfect, Flicks, perfect. So clever little transition says, you've already subscribed. It's clear to subscribe when we said so. Unless you want to go back in time to 2018 and wait another 2 years for the game to launch. And obliterate that like button, of course, while you're at it. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Stay amazing. Alright, post-outro time. Now, we're not having super speed flicks again. Oh, fun fact. I have soda next to me again. But this time I slept a good 12 hours to make up for barely sleeping the last couple of days. And that's it. Legit, just woke up, started working on this. Nothing really interesting happened today. Poor post-outro. It's really lacking today. But hey, I saw you guys really enjoyed yesterday's video because y'all are amazing. But you already know that you're amazing. I don't need to tell you that. Peace. Loved 15-minute video. I love that. I literally love that. Thank you, 15-minute video. Now I'm going to make fun of stretching for 15 minutes when I didn't even stretch it. I just had to get through everything so I don't make another video. Honestly. 15 minutes. That's disgusting. How could I do such a thing?